Welcome to the mustacheandthebeard.com, two Grey Geeks.
Changing the world. Changing the world. One post at a time.
Alright everyone, my name is Louis Matos. I am the Mustache and we're here with our Get Out of Jail Free number 8. 8, buddy boy?
8.
Yes.
8 times we've gotten out of jail free. The rest of the time we've been prisoners.
Yes, we've been caught. Alright, and so as always, did I say my name?
Oh, you did.
Okay, so then it's your turn. And so I'm lucky enough to have my buddy here with me.
Junior Figueroa, a.k.a. The Beard, coming to you live from Puerto Rico. However, I can't say it's a sunny Puerto Rico because it's a rainy day. It was warm today, and over here in the tropics, if it gets warm enough, it'll bring on the rain. So it's raining. And I am not going to make any weather jokes. Believe me, I've sworn, after what happened with Texas, I am swearing off weather jokes. I'm sorry. I have relatives that live in Texas, and I'm so worried about them. And everybody else. My heart goes out to everybody in Texas who is suffering. My prayers go.
And in New York, they got snow too.
Yeah.
So, all right. This is our first Get Out of Jail Free of 2021.
Really?
Yes, it's been a while. It's been that long.
We've been in prison all year. Thus far,
since last year. Yeah.
Thus far for this year, we've been in prison.
All right. So this is a Get Out of Jail Free. So as usual, I asked you in our intro, what is a Get Out of Jail Free video?
Well, basically, it's a video where when we don't have anything else to do, we just... No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah, you mess these up and we don't do retakes.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We always have stuff to do, believe me. Mm-hmm. We have more stuff than there's time. Get Out of Jail basically is where we share with all of you what we have done over the course of time to get out of doing the stuff that we're supposed to do. You know, like cooking and cleaning and washing the dishes and washing clothes and sweeping and
it's us playing hooky.
It's us. That's it exactly. I could have phrased it better. It's what we do to play hooky, to get out of jail, to get out of our chores. That's what.
And we're great at it.
And we're good.
Okay, so gray and bearded one.
Yes.
Tell me one of the things that you've done to get out of jail free this the beginning of this year, 2021.
Okay, I recently got HBO Max. Mm-hmm. Actually, we got HBO Max.
Exactly.
Because where I goeth, he goeth.
Yes.
Okay? That includes...
Going to the toilet.
I was going to say going to jail, but it includes going to the toilet. We recently got HBO Max, and oh my God, the stuff that they have on HBO Max.
It's awesome.
Well, one of the things they have on HBO Max...
Love you, Jamie.
Love you, baby. One of the things that they have in HBO Max is they've got the entire run of Babylon 5. Right? Now, I was a huge fan of Babylon 5. It lasted for 5 seasons. Right? The thing was that it started with a pilot movie. Right? And they did the pilot movie, and then it took about a year before the show came on, right?
Yeah, that was weird.
And then a lot of the cast couldn't make it to the show because of the time. So they had to recast for example, the station's doctor, the station's telepath, the second in command on the station. All were recast, and rather than just find new actors to play the role, they created whole new roles. They kept the old characters, right? They explained in the first episode what happened to the doctor, what happened. They explained that, and which was actually nice because later on they bring them back, they bring them into the show, back to the show. But in all this time that I've seen Babylon 5 repeats, they've never had the pilot.
Oh, that's right.
It would always start with the first episode, never with the pilot. HBO Max has the pilot.
Wow.
So I watched that 90-minute, as a movie, I watched that 90-minute pilot that I hadn't seen except for the first time when it came out. So for me, it was and then to be able to watch it knowing how the series went, how it ended, what happened with all those characters, and oh my God, I loved it. I loved watching that. So the first thing I want to share is that the Babylon 5 pilot.
Oh, just the pilot or the whole series?
No, I just watched the
But you would recommend the entire series?
Oh yeah, I would recommend the whole thing. And if you got HBO Max, check it out. But really, I was so tickled pink over seeing because I hadn't seen that pilot in years. So, it was awesome.
Okay, so now how would you rate the pilot?
The pilot I would rate. Okay, it's not perfect. You know what it is that you can't separate yourself. I've seen the 5 years of Babylon 5. I know where the show is going. I know. So, and looking at the pilot now, I can see little mistakes.
Retcons?
Yeah,
things that they changed.
No, things that the retcon. For example, Myra Furlan, who just recently passed away.
May she rest in peace.
May she rest in peace. Oh my God, and I loved her. She played Delenn in the series, right? She's an alien, a Minbari. Now, in the original pilot, the Minbari were much, much more alien. Okay? And as a matter of fact, I remember when I first saw it, I wasn't sure whether she was male or female. Okay? That's how, that's how alien her makeup was. So, now, the idea was that Delenn becomes the romantic lead in the show.
Yes.
So by the time the first episode came, they had softened her features, realizing that it wasn't working.
Yeah, she was too severe.
It was too severe. I'm telling you, you are not knowing. I wasn't sure whether this character was male or female. And then it wasn't until that they came in the first season that I began to see that, oh, wait a second, she's going to be the romantic lead. I get it. Now I see why you had to soften her features. But that's a retcon. That's a retcon. And I have this diversion to retcon. So I can't say that it's perfect. I can't give it 5 Grey Geeks, but I will give the pilot 4.5. Right? I will give the pilot 4.5. Now, the overall series, I can't give every episode 5 Grey Geeks. I can't even give every episode 4.5. I can't do that with Star Trek. Star Trek series either. But as a whole, and that J. Michael Straczynski said that he had a 5-year plan and he stuck to the 5-year plan. And amazingly enough, what he said was going to happen in the pilot, he says, he has characters describe how it's going to end. 5 years later, it ended that way. He stuck to his vision. So for all of that, overall, I would give it 5 Grey Geeks. But I cannot give individual episodes or even individual seasons an entire 5 Grey Geeks. Just the overall series, and it's nice. It's nice to have a series that has a beginning and an end. That actually, it didn't just drop. The show didn't just. I don't mean this as a criticism, but you take like Next Generation, right? It just stopped. It just stopped. There was no finale. But Babylon 5 has a finale.
Well, there is a finale on.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying that it's not a finale in the sense that Picard retired, and Riker becomes the captain, and that.
Then they get rid of the Enterprise.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of a finale.
So I'm gonna stick with HBO Max.
Okay.
A series.
Yeah.
I am going to talk about the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, because they have the entire Big Bang Theory.
Yes, 12 seasons. All right. So for the past couple of months, since we've had HBO Max, I've watched the entire run of the entire run. Beard. So the Big Bang, and now I had seen episodes, obviously.
Right.
Whole seasons. Right. So the Big Bang Theory is on HBO Max. It's 12 seasons. I'm a big fan since 2007. I love the show when it started.
They're us.
Yeah.
They're us.
Geeks. It's 4 geeks and a pretty girl.
Yeah, they're us. That's us when we were younger, I swear. And I ask my daughters, they will tell you that was us when we were younger.
And there was always a pretty girl hanging around. Lady Geek, my ex-wife,
Yeah, and Ida.
Yeah, we had Ida.
And the comic shop.
Well, we had plenty of girls that would hang around and then do what, the pretty girl in this show did. So Johnny Galecki, Jim Parsons, Kaylee Cuoco, Simon Helberg, Kunal Nayyar, and then later on, as the series went on, it's funny. It starts off with 4 geeks, and then 1 pretty girl, and then 2 pretty girls come on.
Yeah.
So Melissa Rauch and Mayim Bialik, Blossom came on this, and it's just you have this girl that is a struggling actress. She becomes, more, which is great. And knowing it's funny that, she was the pretty girl, right? And she became so much more of that.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
And she grew.
And, listen, I love the show because you always had guest stars, geek guest stars.
Right.
So you had Stan Lee, you had LeVar Burton, Will Wheaton. I have a whole list.
Adam West.
Yes, Adam West, Stephen Hawking, George Takei, William Shatner, James Earl Jones, Neil Gaiman. Sarah Michelle Gellar. They just have tons. Nathan Fillion, who you were just talking about a little while ago. So we had all these guest stars that would come on, and it was just, seeing them play and talk and everything was like, it was us as kids. It's just unreal. So love this show. Later on, like I said, four geeks and 3 pretty girls is how it ended. I give the show 5 Grey Geeks. Now, again, it's a series.
It's a series.
So some episodes suck.
Yeah.
And
some seasons suck.
But overall, love the concept. This is geeks being lauded for being intelligent, and it's okay,
Yeah.
And so, after having grown up for so many years, where intelligence was frowned upon, and so
you find yourself having to dumb things down.
Hearing people say, "You made that word up."
What does that mean? And you tell them the meaning, and they, well, why did you use the simple meaning in the first place?
Yeah. All right, so my recommendation is on HBO Max, The Big Bang Theory. It is 5 Grey Geeks for the entire run because this show has heart. I can't tell you how many episodes One of the main characters, Sheldon, was an annoying pain in the keister, and sometimes, you felt for him.
Sometimes he brought you to tears.
Yeah. So there were a lot of tears in this show. So loved it. I would suggest taking if you want to invest 12 seasons worth of time, this is a good show. So far, 2 really good recommendations.
Yes.
Let's hope we can keep that up.
Okay. I considered the Babylon 5 pilot a movie, right? So what I've been watching a TV show. I've been watching an old show called Banachek with George Peppard.
Yes, I remember you talking.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's free on Amazon Prime. I recommend this show. It is brilliantly done. It is a whodunit and how done it. Okay, Banachek is a freelance insurance investigator. He gets called in when insurance companies are baffled. But they reluctantly call him in because he gets paid 10% of whatever the item he's recovering is worth. So if the item is worth $1 million, he gets 10% of $1 million. If it's $5 million, 10% of $5 million. So he lives in a townhouse. He drives a Packard. He has antiques. He is wealthy, and the rub of it is that Banachek is Polish, and the Polish have a reputation for being not right.
I'm glad you said it that way. I'm like,
No. I don't mean. I'm not saying that I subscribe to it.
Not that you believe it.
Yes, because of course not. But the reputation is that the Polish people are not bright, and this guy pokes you in the eye with that. He is very proud of being Polish. He's very proud of his name and insists that you say it right. It's not Banachek, it's Banachek, right? And
although it's spelled Banachek.
Banachek,
right?
It's Banachek. It's pronounced Banachek. If you mispronounce it, he will correct you.
Good, as it should
be. And he's always the smartest person in the room, and he figures out all my. And the thing is that this is one of those shows that gives you all the clues. If you can figure it out. All the information is there. You can maybe even figure it out before he does, right? But nobody else can. And it's usually, like I said, it's not only a whodunit, because somebody stole that thing that was insured, right? So that's the whodunit. But it's impossible crimes. For example, I'm giving you this example because this is the one and only episode I've ever figured it out. The only one. A football player is in the middle of a game, gets tackled, and when everybody gets up, the football player is gone. How? And then it turns out he's kidnapped and being held for ransom. How did he disappear? Right? It's that kind of. Now, this is a national TV. Cameras are on there. A stadium full of people. There's a pylon, and they get off. He's not there. So, I figured it out. I'm not going to say it because that would be a spoiler. I'm not going to say it. But it's the only episode that I figured it out before the ending. All the others before Banachek, and the thing is that most of the time I'm just like, what? They steal a moving train. They steal a car. No, this is it. They steal a car from a moving train.
Wow.
How do you steal a car? Watch this show and you'll see how you can steal a car. And it's got guest stars galore, because basically the only two characters on the show are Banachek and his driver. Everybody else is a guest star, Oh no, I shouldn't say that. He has an old friend who runs an antique bookstore, and he goes to him for information. This is an old show. This is before the internet. So his friend, Mulholland Books is the name. That's his internet. He goes, "Oh, what do you know about John Smith?" And he'll either tell him about John Smith or look it up. So those are the only three continuing characters. Everybody else is a guest star. That means the suspects are a guest star. Well, a similar show, Murder, She Wrote. How many people weren't on every episode of Murder, She Wrote?
No, a lot.
A lot.
Most.
Yes, that's how it goes with Banachek. And I love me George Papard. I loved him when he was A-list actor.
How many seasons?
It's only two.
Oh.
It's only two. Basically, they canceled the show because he was having a divorce issues. He was getting divorced, and so to prevent his wife from getting anything that he was getting from the show, he quit the show and they canceled the show. The show was part of the NBC Wednesday mystery movie rotating. Originally, the NBC rotating shows were Columbo, McMillan and Wife, and McCloud. Then they moved them to Sunday because they were so popular, and they brought in three shows: Heck Ramsey, Banachek, and another show, Cool Million. Right? They didn't do as well. Again, Banachek was high rated. So was Heck Ramsey. Heck Ramsey the star had a falling out with Universal, and they canceled the show. And George Papard, because of his divorce, they canceled the show. But it had nothing to do with the quality of the show. So yeah, it's 2 seasons. You can get it free on Amazon Prime. I highly recommend it. If you like mysteries, and if you like George Papard,
what's the rating?
I would give it overall for both seasons. Mm-hmm. The show as a whole, I would give it 5 Grey Geeks. But again, not every episode is a 5er. Not every season is a 5er. Just overall, the overall feeling that you come away from the show is you come away very, very satisfied. So I would give it a 5.
Okay.
How about with you?
With me, I'm going to tell you about a movie. Just like you went from. I thought you were doing the series of Babylon 5, but you did the movie Babylon 5. So I'm doing a movie now, Dr. Sleep. It's a movie from 2019. I saw it on HBO Max. It's the sequel to The Shining.
Oh, I saw the icon for it.
Yes, highly recommend it. Supernatural horror. It's supernatural horror, which is not my favorite kind of horror. This is the sequel to The Shining, which, if you recall, followers of the blog, The Shining is one of my top 10 horror movies of all time. All right, best horror movies. So, and I think it's like on our 4th post for the blog. Love The Shining, and I love this movie as the sequel because Ewan McGregor plays Dan Torrance. Danny Torrance is 5 years old in The Shining.
The kid.
Yes, the kid from The Shining who has a special power that his father has, which is what makes his father go nuts in the Shining. He has that same power, but as a little kid, he was even more powerful than his father. So, Ewan McGregor plays the character. Rebecca Ferguson is the bad guy in this movie. Kylie Curran is kind of like the Danny Torrance character. She also has The Shining. In the film, Dan Torrance, now an adult, must protect a young girl with similar powers from a cult known as the True Knot, whose members prey on children to extend their own lives. So they kind of, supernaturally take the kids,
the life force.
their life force. The climax, which is wonderful, takes place in the Overlook Hotel.
Really?
In Colorado. So this movie's scary, which it's a ghost story kind of, but there's more to it. There's also the whole cult thing of taking kids and abducting them, and it's like, so it's unsettling in that way. This is horror, okay? And it's Stephen King, so it comes from that sick mind. It is directed by Mike Flanagan, which I love as a director. He directed Hush. He directed Gerald's Game, which I loved for 2017. I think he directed it. It's one of the top movies of 2017. Whatever year that is that it came out. Absentia. These movies. So you have a really good horror director. I'm not going to call him great. A really good horror director directing a Stephen King book. So you're going
with a good cast.
Yes, you're going to have alchemy there, and I agree. I love this movie. I did find it horrifying, which I don't. As a jaded horror fan, a lot of people, a lot of horror movies, they call horror. I'm like, that's not scary. That's not scary.
Yeah, you say that all the time. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yes, but this is a horror movie, Dr. Sleep. It is on HBO Max. I don't know how long it's going to be there, but I suggest you watch it. It was a fun movie. I turned off the lights. I had my popcorn. And let me tell you, if you do that, you suspend your disbelief, and you can travel back to when you were a kid watching horror movies and getting the caca scared out of you. 4.5 Grey Geeks.
Yay!
Your last one.
My last one. Okay, now I'm going to switch to comic books.
Oh, God save us.
No, actually, I have a recommendation.
Oh, cool.
I have a recommendation, and believe it or not, it's Marvel. Holy mackerel! It was recently brought to my attention that Marvel had done has started a new series called The Strange Academy. Right? It premiered in April. Mm-hmm. So I decided to go check it out. What happened is that although it premiered in April, I was on Read Comics Online, and you know how they have covers that show you that they recommended. You might want to check this cover out.
Yeah, you sent me the link.
Yeah, and so they had The Strange Academy. That's how I discovered it, and then I realized that it's already like 12 issues because it started in April. So I read the first one. And I liked it. I actually, believe me, for me to say that I like a Marvel comic,
a current
Marvel comic, that's huge. So I kept on reading it, and I caught up. I'm up to date.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm up to date on all the issues.
So clearly, you liked it.
I liked it. The basic premise is. It's really Harry Potter meets the X-Men or / New Mutants, mm-hmm. Right? It is the savior school for gifted youngsters for magic users, like in Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange, apparently something's coming. Something is coming. That he feels that the magic users of the world need to be prepared. Not that he's trying to recruit soldiers. He's not trying to recruit soldiers. But when it happens, he wants the magic users to be able to take care of themselves. And the only way he can do that is by starting this academy. He picks New Orleans because, New Orleans.
Yes.
Voodoo
capital of
the world. Yes. and it's amazing because the the teachers, right, at the academy are a who's who from Marvel. Dr. Voodoo,
Yeah, magic users.
The Ancient One, the Scarlet Witch, Swamp Thing, and the list goes on and on. Oh, Magic from Eliana Rasputin, Damon Hellstrom, Son of Satan. Right? They're all teachers. Then
is Doctor Strange headmaster?
No, he is the founder of the school. The headmaster is Dr. Voodoo.
Oh,
okay. Although he, Doctor Strange is in issues. He's not in every issue.
No,
but he does appear. It is his school, and there is a doorway from the school to his sanctum. Right? So he can, step through the doorway and be right there. But he's not actually teaching classes, is what it is. The others are teaching classes. And so, and they have 11, it's a large student body. It's a school. But they have 11 student characters that we're following. And it's diverse. Two of them, two boys are twins. They're from Asgard. Loki puts a frost giant in the school. This guy, Gus, is blue skinned and 30 feet tall. Okay? Yeah. So basically when you see them in class, he's the giant face at the window looking in. You have there's a zombie. A girl who's an animated corpse. Wow. You have the Dread Dormammu, right? His son Doyle is a student at the Strange Academy. You have a Swamp Thing from Weird World, and it touches upon all the various
magical aspects
of the Marvel Universe. The main character is Emily, right? Who is a girl who seems to have been born with the ability to use magic, to affect magic, but she doesn't know how to control it. So they go to talk to her parents, and they convince her parents to allow her to come to the school. She's the everyday character, the everyday person. The one that we can relate to because she's a normal person thrust in this situation, as opposed to somebody from Asgard or so on. But they're interesting. They act like kids, They give them a school uniform, and of course the kids, they start cutting off the sleeves and they start personalizing it, and there are crushes, and it's really very, very nicely done. You wind up caring about the characters. There's plenty of action. They get into anybody who's watched, who read New Mutants. You know how much trouble students can get themselves into, despite what the teachers may say, and they're just like that. And but they started to develop friendships. They're getting close, and it's so well drawn, right? It's a slightly cartoony style, right? But not over the top. And I liked it. I would recommend it. I would say overall, I would give it 4.5 Grey Geeks.
Wow.
Right.
First year.
I would, but I'm taking away half a Grey Geek because in some aspects it is not very original. Mm-hmm. There are parts where you're going to say,
X-Men.
Or New Mutants. Or Harry Potter. I guess you can't help it.
Yeah.
You can't help it. I mean, those came before, and so it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen. But it was man.
So it's readcomiconline.to.
The Strange Academy.
The Strange Academy.
Now, the other thing that I found interesting is that for years now, Marvel has been trying to divorce itself from magic. Okay? Just think about it. They turned the Asgardians into an alien race. Right? They played down Doctor Strange's abilities. That inside his amulet, he had an infinity gem. You know, meaning not magic, but something science based. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have been for years. They have been playing down magic and fantasy in the Marvel universe, leaning more towards science. Spider-Man gets a suit. The Black Panther gets a suit. All of a sudden, they turn around now. And with the Strange Academy, they're going whole hog after magic.
I guess Harry Potter.
I found that refreshing.
All right. Now we go to my last one.
Yeah, your last one.
Okay, so I have been a fan of the Stu Grafton novels from way back.
When you were wearing short pants.
And thanks to my sister. My sister's the one that. My sister Dee is the one that introduced me to Stu Grafton. I think the first novel I read was...
You really meant Stu Grafton?
Yeah. No, K is for killer, J is for justice, I is for innocence. I think those were my introduction to these books. And so over the years I collected several and I read them, but never had I read them in order. And so I decided...
That's true, and it's all from A to Z, right?
It's A to Y.
There's no Z?
No, because I'm glad you brought that up. She passed away in 2017. With no Z. She went as far as Y, which is for yesterday, and she had proposed to her publisher, Z is for zero, but she never wrote Z is for zero.
That is so sad.
That is very sad. However,
that's so sad.
If you recall, I also mentioned to you that her daughter, in her mother's eulogy, when she eulogized her mother, she said, "For us, the alphabet will always end in the letter Y." And so 2017, she passed away, of cancer, and she was not a young woman, but she leaves us this legacy. And so I decided, this year I'm going to read the whole books. I figured out, let me pick them up, and I picked them up all last year, and so I have the entire series. So I decided I'm going to read them from A to Y. And so the first 2 months of this year, I've read A is for alibi, B is for burglar, and I always mark them like I do.
Yeah. C
is for corpse, and D is for deadbeat. I've never read D is for deadbeat. I had read A and B. I don't think I read C either. So these books, it's in discovering them. You don't really. It seems like you don't really need to have them in chronology to actually read them and enjoy them. But I'm enjoying them in a special way. Just in the fact that and just getting to know this detective, noir detective. But she's got her dark side, but she also has her light side. She goes, "I'm such a liar," and she relishes lying. And this is a nice little touch for the character. Kinsey Milhone is a wonderful detective. She doesn't need to be married. She's been divorced twice. She's 36 years old, 32 years old when it starts. She is a fun character as a detective. Getting to know her, it has been a delight, and I have decided and set this objective that I'm going to read 2 of her books per month to get me to 25, you know?
Right.
So, just wanted to say, listen, you should be able, if you have never read a Kinsey Milhone novel, I strongly recommend this Sue Grafton. It's funny, she had always wanted to write novels. In reading her biography, she had always wanted to write mystery novels, and she wrote 6 of them that were never published. Her first 6 never got published. And she got so frustrated, she burned 5 of them. When one of them got published, she was like, so she burned the other 5. And then she went into TV and did mystery writing for TV, and then she decided, hey, now I could do this. And she loved the Dashiell Hammett novels that are with a color. Are they with a color? Do you remember? One of them is with colors, and there's another. I think the rabbi stories are with day of the week. You know, so she said, day of the week, color. Let's do the alphabet. And so
No, it's not Dashiell Hammett that does color. It's John D. McDonald.
Okay, so him. So he. It gave her the idea of these McDonald novels are
the Empty Copper Sky,
Uh-huh.
Darker Than Amber.
Uh-huh.
That's John D. McDonald.
So so it is. That gave her the idea. She is, even though this is like her, I think this is her magnum opus, and I'm glad she left us these novels because I'm enjoying them.
I think that's so sad. I think that when you finish reading all the novels, I think we should do a video just on her novels.
I was planning on doing a reading sanctum on these first 4.
I think we should do a video just on her,
Uh-huh.
and her novels. What do you say?
I say it sounds like a great idea. You know I'm down for it. All right, so I haven't read all of them, but I am saying for these first 4, again, uneven, but I love C, I love D. I suggest, C is for corpse, D is for deadbeat. For these first 4 novels, I say 4.5 Grey Geeks. I am loving them and hope that I will enjoy the rest.
No, you're just getting old.
All right, it has come to the point of the show. Well, thanks for telling me that I'm old.
No, I didn't say you were old. I said you were getting old.
Yeah, I'm feeling old. Okay, so it's come to the part of the show where we are approaching the end.
Yes.
And as always, I always ask for you, old gray and bearded one, to give us a wise missive to end the program.
And I have a very short, wise missive from General Sun Tzu, the Chinese warlord who wrote The Art of War. And he said, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
With that having been said, if this is your first time visiting the Mustache and the Beard and you have enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe. We try to make you laugh in the hopes of entertaining you while informing you with our over 100 years of being geeks between the 2 of us. If something we've said has stirred you to make a comment, please do so. Tell us what we got right or what you think we might have gotten wrong.
But be gentle. Be gentle, please.
We thank you for watching. Please share this video. My name is Louis Matos. I am the Mustache.
I'm Junior Figueroa. I be the Beard.
See you later.
Hasta la vista.
Take it easy.
And peace.
Peace.